Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie West. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I'm owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Today we're going to talk about accruing skills, but why it's so imperative to accrue skills when we are not in seasons of high distress. So imagine you have a house fire, and in that house fire you realize, hey, I really need to go out and get a fire extinguisher, and so you leave your house fire to go grab the proper tools. Not a great strategy. And so often people will come in high conflict and say like, hey, teach me all the things because this is really big. And it's like, well, we can try. We can for sure do some triage care and some damage control. But ideally, it is lovely to intersect with people before they actually need a lot of skills, because skill rehearsal is a fundamental part of being able to navigate difficult seasons well. And so what can be really, really helpful is those who know they're going to go through a season of transition will coming to therapy before that transition is actually afoot. Or those who realize that they have untended to wounds from their past, well, before it festers and starts to hemorrhage in all directions, you can come into therapy and proactively sort through some of it and organize it. Now, that's not to say don't come to therapy in high distress. That's one of the fundamental purposes of why this vocation exists. We want to walk with people through high distress. But skill accrual prior to distress, or when we are in seasons of calm, can be paramount for navigating life healthfully. And so when you notice that you have subpar strategies for even minimal conflict, maybe developing skills around that before big conflict happens can actually be really useful. Maybe you're noticing that there are, sensitivities running in your marriage. Perhaps coming in before those sensitivities become giant fractures is actually really useful. Perhaps you have a young adult, or perhaps you have a teenager, and there's starting to be a breakdown in communication. Well, before it becomes an all-out, war between, come to therapy and try to skill build communication strategies and ways to stop the fissures or to bridge the gaps. Therapy can be super helpful, proactive care before big life ruptures happen. And life ruptures typically tell us who we are. It really shines a spotlight on our character. And so if you can conceptually think through something going wrong and you know that your little responses are not cute, so your big responses would be even less cute, those are things that you can pre-organize and reorganize by way of spending time with a therapist. Now, I want to say, as a therapist, I highly value what we do, but I will also say you can do proactive preparation in other domains as well. Get connected to a mentor, get connected into a solid friends group, get connected into a community that shares your values. There's many ways to proactively prepare for the inevitability that breakdown happens in life. It's for sure going to be a part of your story, and that's not the time where we start to build infrastructure. Strive to build infrastructure now proactively, and if you are in crisis, take an honest appraisal of what do you need to navigate well, how can you move forward, bring someone in to help with that. But when the bludgeoning stops, your job is to keep going with the proactive strategies, because life will have ebbs and flows, and in those ebbs and flows, there will be different seasons of chaos and different seasons of hard. And to proactively prepare, it's part of what we're allowed to do. I would even go as far as to say it's part of our responsibility for understanding the ebbs and flows of life. We can't prepare for everything, but we can be conditioned as well as possible by taking honest appraisal of where we're at, noticing what the gaps are, and then skill building around that, because life will have fractures and we want to be living within that awareness, but also ready for the inevitability of that. So that's the invitation today, that idea of proactively skill building, proactively working on anxiety reduction, proactively working on good communication skills and strategies. There's a lot that can be done when seasons of low distress are upon us, because it is inevitable that seasons of high distress will show up. And the question we ask is, who do we want to be in that? We should probably start preparing.